So my last video, a lot of you asked, so how do I start investing without just following the hype, gambling my money? Here on today's episode, I'm going to break down the basics of investment so you don't have to learn the hard way in which I did. I am Dombony and this is Adulting 101, the money lessons no one sits you down to teach you. Here's the thing, investment feels intimidating. And this is because there are so many myths there. Because some people say investment, some people feel investment is only for people with money. Investment is for people with finance background, or people that work in the bank, or people that have, so many myths out there about investment, but that's not true. Actually, the biggest or the best investors today, they actually started small, but then they remained consistent, not about relying on luck or just following the hype, like I always advise against. Here are 4 basic things that we need to understand so that investment can actually make sense to us. First, let's understand the difference between savings and investment. Savings is actually putting money aside for something that you are going to need soon. For instance, you're putting money aside for your emergency fund. Emergency fund is setting money aside so something that comes up suddenly in the house. You don't panic, you don't start scouting for money, you don't start going into your credit card. Take for instance your car breakdown, or you need to change something in the house, or something suddenly spoils in the house. You need to call in a plumber to the house to fix your tap. This is what you use this money for. So you are saving money for things that just crops up along the way. That is savings. That is emergency savings. Or you are saving for a short-term goal. You are saving to buy a car, to buy a house, or to buy any property. That is savings. You are saving for a particular project. You are saving for, it's just a short-term, setting money aside for a short-term plan. Investment actually grows money for you, for your future self. So it is left for a longer period of time. So what it means is you don't use the money that you want to use tomorrow, or use today, or use next week, or use next month to invest. So what people actually do is that they treat investment as savings. So they put their money into something, or they invest their money somewhere, and then they start watching it. The moment it starts going down, they start panicking, and then they say, no, I'm no more doing it. No, that's not investment. That is you just gambling your money again. The second thing I want us to understand is compound growth. Compounding, as some people may call it. And compounding, think of it this way. When you use your credit card, let's say you used £100 in your credit card, and then you don't pay it out, you don't pay it off on time. And then you find out that probably the next time you pay, you might be paying £120. And then if you leave it longer, it keeps growing. If you don't pay it off, it keeps growing, keeps growing, it keeps growing. It is compounding. It is compounding over time. And think of it this way: if this compounding effect actually works for you, instead of you paying interest for the things you borrowed, for the money you borrowed, the company or these people that you are investing with are now paying you that interest. Think of it this way. How gracious can that be? That is compounding. However, it does not matter how much you start, basically, right? How much you start can make a difference, but that is not really the key thing here. You won't say, because I started with $1, I would have started with $100. No. Remember what I said, you can start small, but remain consistent. Again, time here matters. Someone that started 5 years ago and someone that is starting today, the person that started 5 years ago has already accumulated compound interest until today, and it's adding. So do not equate yourself with someone that started take for instance, if I started with £10,000 five years ago and you want to start with £10,000 today, obviously I'm already way ahead of the game. So understand the compound interest and make it work for you. The next point is diversification. You don't put all your money into one company or one one investment. You have to diversify, because the advantage of that's diversifying your investment is so that if one goes south, you've got other ones to fall back on. One simple way of investing in stocks and shares is, for me, is is investing in index funds and ETFs. Take for instance, if you are investing in S&P 500, which means you're investing in the top 500 companies in America. So if one company out of the 500 companies is closing up or is doing very bad, the other ones are actually cushioning that effect for you. So we call it, and then imagine that you've invested in just that one company that actually went south, or that closed up or backed up, and you probably must lose all your money. So how do I now start investing? Start small but stay consistent. In fact, I would suggest automate your investments. Do not wait for when money comes into your account and then you have to manually go into your bank account and transfer money to wherever you are investing. No, automate it. What do I mean? If you get paid on the last day of the month, which means the next day is the first month of the month, you can automate your investments so that emotions don't come in play, don't come in here. Because sometimes you might have a big project and you say, oh, this investment for this month, let me just ignore it. Next month I will continue. It happens. It's not just too many, even the big investors, they get into that. But however, because they have already automated their investments, they don't have to bother about that. But by the time they get into their bank accounts, the money has gone into their investment portfolio, which is the right thing to do. So start small today, but stay consistent. Along the line, you can decide to start increasing your money. By the time you start to probably getting more money, or you start understanding this better, and increase your money. But the goal here is to stay consistent. And like I said, automate it. Investment is not about discovering the next big stock, the next big company out there. It's about starting early, starting small, but staying consistent, and not letting people make decisions for you, and not letting hype make you make decisions. Comment start, and I will send you a simple beginner's investing checklist to get going this week. Next episode, we'll be talking about the money habits I picked while working in the NHS. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video to people that you believe it will benefit, and I'll see you on the next one.